the final race of the Past Masters Regatta. Now, the race officer was clearly not happy about my lack of capsizing, so decided instead of doing a trapezoid or a triangle, instead he was going to get us to do a figure of 8 course, which means 4 marks, but 2 of them are Gybe Marks. And not just Gybe Marks, but they're Gybe Marks where you're going from one fairly tight angle to another fairly tight angle. So, yeah, it's not the easiest thing to pull off in a 600. Not something we do very often. So, I'll let you be the judge. But, yeah, the wind was going up. It was getting windier. I'm getting tired now. And, yeah, it's a lot closer on handicap between me and the laser radial. Now, just getting my kicker back on, just getting myself lined up for the start. Now, big shout out to the race officer for letting me know that he had changed the course because I hadn't seen. I would finish and then go straight back into sequence, so very grateful for that. Let's see how this start goes. Again, pretty breeze on. Nice, you know, not too close to the pin that time. That's a little bit, well, not a little bit better, but a little less sketchy, you could say. And yeah, still windy, still wavy, and just the more difficult course. Same windward mark as race 2, which you would have seen in the previous video for the Bank Holiday Regatta. And same second mark, but instead of going to W now, we're going over to X and then W. So quite an awful, not awful, but the reach was quite tight. And with the amount of wind there was, it just meant I could not get the boat going. So you had to sort of zigzag to it, either go on a close reach or go down to a broad reach, sort of aim towards W. Now, that is an impressive tack if I ever saw one. I think paints the picture perfectly for how this race goes. Yeah, getting a little bit stuck into irons. Got to get a bit of that kicker off just to help the boat get through. Laser's already tacked and is going off off to the right hand side. I'm having a right mare here, clearly. Let's see if I can get the boat back onto the speed. Yeah, get the kicker back on, get myself back out. Everything's just a little bit slower. My reaction times, getting back out onto the side, everything's just playing the main. Everything's just a bit slower compared to those first 2 races. So not preferable. But you can see disappearing into the distance now. No problems whatsoever. Lots of white horses still. Very, very windy. Okay, can't see the laser anymore. It's all good. But yeah, really having to work the boat to get it driving. I definitely preferred this port tack, so another reason for getting onto it so soon. We can see Z, the windward mark, just to the left there. So getting ready to do my tack onto the ley line. Hopefully, this one will be a little bit easier. I blame the fact that I hadn't had any chance to eat any food between the races, so I'm running on fumes at this point. And I must say, when I came ashore, I was like, let me go to the cafe and order as much food as I can get, because I'm so hungry. Cool. That's a much better tack. Now, I knew what this next reach would be like, similar to the last race, but I'm starting to think about, okay, what's that third reach going to look like? It's a bit of a shame we didn't get much downwind, but, you know, can't really complain. Love a good bit of reaching in the 600, but I do quite like downwind in these sort of conditions where you can really get the boat playing. Yeah, starting to work back, get myself lower. It's hard to know if it's going to be full-on trapezing or if it's just going to be sort of standing on the side. Yeah, it's pretty windy, but it's very, very broad, this reach. Just needs to be a couple of degrees higher and it would have been all right. Absolutely flying. The capsize didn't cost me too much. I was still quite comfortably ahead of the laser. Now it's just a case of, can I maintain my lead? Can I build on the delta, or am I going to throw it in again? Now, this reach was never too dramatic, fairly straightforward. No problems here. It's when we get over towards H, our first Gybe mark of the day, where I'm starting to think, okay, how do I want to tackle this? Because not only am I jibing, I'm actually coming out the jibe even harder than I did for W, because X is way more over to the east, way past the committee boat, whereas W was quite below it. So yeah, just working those gusts, just trying to get the boat planing, bearing away where I need to. I, again, want to take height where possible, just so that when it gets to jibe time, I can get the kicker off, bear away, go on a run without overshooting the mark, and then do my jibe. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter if I overshoot the mark. The key thing is not throwing it in. It's just I don't want to overshoot the mark massively, ideally. But yeah, absolutely flying. We're getting pretty close now, and this is probably the cleanest part of the race, to be honest. We got the inlands this coming weekend, so this was all good practice, but the forecast is not looking quite as windy as we had expected, so it's looking more like 8 gusting 15, so it's going to be a lot of bending knees and in and out, whereas this was flat out the entire time. Yeah, looking quite forward to it. Should be quite good. We've got 13 entered at the moment. Still opportunity to enter if you're a 600 sailor and you haven't gone yet, so would love to see more faces there. Now, here's the jibe. So I've gone a little bit higher. I can bear away now, and then I can just go for the jibe when I'm ready. Lovely. Very nice, very stable. Kept the boat nice and flat during it. Now I can get the kicker back on, hook on, and reach. Now, that is exactly what I should have done for the rest of the race. Now, this is the tight reach. Now, I've come out a lot tighter than the previous race. H is a lot more towards those trees. Now, I can't actually see X at the moment. I thought X was higher than the committee boat, but actually it was kind of more to leeward to the committee boat. So I was aiming originally above the committee boat, and then I realized, oh, hang on a minute. It's way lower than that. But you can see I'm really struggling to get the boat flat because it just wants to fall over in this sort of beam reach position. So once I get a little bit more comfortable, I decide to start sort of playing the waves a little bit more. I'm also getting slapped by the waves a lot more here. You can see there, like, because I'm sailing directly side onto them, they're sort of pushing me sideways a little bit. Bearing away here just to help the boat go for speed, right, rather than try and just point in the same direction. They do say the fastest way to get to a reaching mark is to not sail in a straight line, and what they mean by that is really like keeping the boat flat is key. As you can see, I'm just not really, at first I wasn't really keeping it very flat. I'm doing a better job now, but I'm still not quite achieving what I'm after. It's just not quite flat. I mean, the rack's not in the water, which is a good start, but it's getting covered in spray, which will be slow. So yeah, I should really bear away a little bit more. Committee boat is just on the right hand side there, so you can see I've gone quite high compared to the committee boat, but then I realized that X is actually way further down. So I'm starting to bear away, thinking, oh, hang on a minute, I'm going the wrong direction. I should probably alter my course here and do something about that. So I start bearing away big time, which just helps the boat absolutely accelerate. I'm no longer fighting it now. I think I shout at the committee boat, why is there so many Gybe Marks? But I did give them some good amusement, I'm glad. Yeah, again, just trying to go for a little bit of height here just to avoid, again, that zigzagging technique that I've not really had the opportunity to master because it's not something I really understood until like the last couple of years, and most of the gains you make in a race are upwind and downwind, so I've been focusing more time on that. But because I'm on that tighter reach, I'm much further forwards than I would be, whereas on those broad reaches I was right on the back corner trying to get that nose up and reduce the surface area so the boat planes nicely. Whereas here I am planing, but I don't want to just, if I dig the back in I will just go sideways. So we're nearly at X now. It's just there on the right hand side. I'm just again trying to take a bit of height so I can then bear away, get onto a run, get the kicker off, do my jibe, but then I'm going straight into another beam reach. This one I guess was between a beam reach and a broad reach, but the between X and W was definitely a beam reach. So there you go, I've unhooked, get the kicker off. See, even the sail's flapping, that's how, but I'm still accelerating pretty quick. Okay, here we go. I was trying to get myself all ready, but I ended up moving my weight too much and the boat wobbled. I should have gone for the jibe then. I would have saved it. Instead, I tried to bail out, but at that point the boat had already decided it was going to do the jibe. I probably would have come out okay if I'd just gone for it when it wobbled. Whereas, yeah, not what I want. Luckily, pretty quick recovery. Not too bad. Back in the boat we go, and I decided to just put a tack in here rather than try and do a jibe. Just thought, let's play it safe, no dramas. Got my kicker off, so it should tack fairly easily. And I've drifted now downwind of X quite a bit, so I can now easily do a tack, no problem. Get the kicker back on, hook myself back on, and accelerate towards W to try and finish our first of 2 laps. Now, this reach was actually quite nice. I couldn't quite get on the rack, but the boat felt like it was going really quite nicely, actually. Yeah, it just felt like it was accelerating really quite nicely. I really liked the reach. But looking back at the footage, it doesn't look like what I felt when I was doing it. When I was doing it, it just felt like the boat was just really nice and controlled. It was really stable. I wasn't really fighting it. It just did what I wanted it to, which was really, really good. When you can get the 600 not fighting you, you sort of know that's quick, right? You know that that's fast. Here we go, just accelerating now. Just need to stand on the gunnel for this one. Nothing too crazy. Yeah, looking good. Now, interestingly, when I went round W on this lap, I clearly didn't round the mark very well. I was trying to get myself higher, and I clearly just went very wide on my exit. Yeah, I just don't really turn up. You know, I'm not really, yeah, there we go, turning up a bit more now. So I lost a lot of height, which forced me to tack to get through the start line. Whereas in the last lap, I actually crossed right near the committee boat when I round the mark. So either there was a hefty wind shift, which I didn't see, or I just had a terrible rounding. I think it was probably more likely the terrible rounding. You could just see the laser was going past the committee boat just then. So they're on the bottom reach, or the second of 3 reaches. Go for a quick tack. Not my finest work, but we make it work. Got to get myself through the line. You can see the pin end there is just next to where my trapeze is. So I had to tack sooner rather than later. Feeling the pain, feeling the grind of this wind. Now, oh yeah, all over the place. Just can't get myself locked in and get myself in the zone. I'm just getting thrown around all over the place. Feels like I've got it a little bit better. Looks like the laser's just gone for the jibe there at the bottom. Looks like they didn't throw it in. Now, they did tell me that they did capsize a few times, but I never saw this. So, I mean, that makes me feel a little better that it wasn't just me throwing myself in everywhere. The bearing definitely doesn't feel as good on this tack. It feels like just being headed, but this is the first time I've basically gone on port from the line, so for the whole day. But as you can see, I'm just focusing on not trying to do too many stupid tacks because I'm not really tacking very quickly. I'm playing it a little safe. And yeah, I've just got to get it through the finish. Now, at this point, I didn't know I had won the first 2 races. And the event, I actually don't know if there's a discard for the event. But I basically had it secured in the bag, right? Worst I was going to get was a second. If I didn't finish the race, I would have got a third. So I guess that could have knocked me back because that would have then put me on, well, I would have got 4th because we had someone who didn't start the 3rd race. So therefore, that would have put me on 4 plus 2, 6 points, whereas the laser would have been on 5 if they'd won the last race. So I basically just needed to finish to make sure I could secure the win, assuming there was no discards. It's all just a bit all over the place. I've just lost my slickness. I felt like race 1 I was nice and slick, and in race 3 I'm just all over the place. And I guess that's a fitness thing, which I've been doing a lot of cycling recently to try and boost the cardio. I need to do some strength and conditioning work as well to try and help with the upper body. It's all good to get a balance of things. I think on the whole though, fitness is good, weight loss is good. Trying to get myself a lighter weight so that for those lighter wind days, I can be competitive. At the moment, I'm very comfortable in these heavy wind days, but I guess on a day like today, where I was currently 95 for this, I would be standing on the rack at like 90 or 85, for example. Yeah, accelerating like absolute crazy on this top reach. This top reach never caused me too many dramas. It just could have been a little bit tighter. Now, let's see what happens when we get to the Gybe mark. Oh boy. So, we're getting kind of close now. We're starting to sort of think about, shall I go for a bit of height, get myself back planing, get myself back on the rack. Then I can do the head down, do my bear away, and go for it. Now, the problem is, as I approached H, I got hit by a humongous gust. And this gust basically made me go, okay, I don't feel like this jibe is really going to work. Yeah, I just don't feel like this jibe is really gonna work. So I decide actually to throw it into a quick tack all the way around. So yeah, we'll see. Some big waves there. Okay, starting to think about it. Let's get that kicker off. Let's get the prep in place now. So the Gybe Marks just there on the left, I think. I'm thinking about it, thinking the boat doesn't really... yeah, it was like, okay, I need to go for a jibe. It doesn't want to jibe. So I decided, let's just quickly throw it into attack with all the momentum. But then, ooh, I nearly capsized it, but I didn't. I kept it upright. No dramas. They always say, don't bother, do attack round, it's safer. And then I thought, let's get the kicker back on. And now, and the sail's gone up in the air too, which is slow. Everything about this is slow. There's nothing good about what's just happened here. Now, I spent a while trying to right this boat. It's just such a faff trying to right it when it already wants to invert fully. Get back in the boat, nearly, not quite. There, ooh, not quite. Here we go. It's helpful having the trapeze and the rack to grab onto. Jump back in. Kicker's all the way off. Let's get that back on pretty quick. Let's get myself hooked on and let's get going because that laser is catching me up and I need to get moving. Now, you can see here, now I know what this reach is all about. I decide, okay, let's play the angles a little harder this time. Let's not try and go for unnecessary height. I'm trying to drop myself, but it's just throwing me all over the place. Okay. Very cool. Okay, not... just trying to get the boat settled. There we go. Further forwards as well because it's a bit of a tighter reach. Don't need to be that far back. Okay, so this time I'm trying to go above the committee boat again, as that felt like the obvious choice. But as I was getting closer and closer to the start line, I just got to get hit by these massive gusts, and the only way to handle them is to bear away and really work that rudder on these reaches. I really should have worked the rudder a bit more, to be honest. Like, looking back at this, my kind of takeaway is that I'm trying too hard to go in a certain direction. Oh, big wave there. Instead, I should really be working that rudder a lot more. But I guess the issue is it was just constantly windy, so I'd just be basically pointing at the beach rather than the mark. So yeah, I'm just sailing along quite nicely here. Now, I can't see the committee boat, it's just too much spray. But I do make a decision to bail last second when I realise I'm going to have to go through the start line backwards, which is an obstruction, so you would be disqualified. So you have to go round the line. Not normally a problem, only an issue when you're doing like a windward-leeward style course or something. But yeah, I decide here, let's bear away. Let's just get the boat absolutely hooning. So it's flying now, and I have to bear away even more than I want to because I need to get round the pin. You can see the pin's just ahead of me there. The race officer was wondering, why has he done that? I was like, I just had to. Like, look how much quicker I'm going because I'm not fighting the boat now. And then I can sort of take a little bit of height out of that. Well, sort of. Get my foot back on the rack. That's not too bad. It's not the flattest I've ever sailed, but I've got it on a much tighter reach now. It's sort of a close reach now, and it's going really quite nicely. Sort of. But some of these waves are mega. They're just throwing me around all over the place. So, yeah, got a little bit of work to do there. So I guess my takeaway is one of the main things I need to work on from this past Masters Regatta is the jibes potentially are getting better. If we look at the windy day I did in February, I wasn't taking enough kicker off because of the fact that I'd have to put it back on immediately, and it's a pain in the backside. But the jibes are definitely going better today, but my reaching technique is what needs work, specifically on those sort of beam reaches. I feel like I've got the broad reach technique sorted. I've done a lot of work on that, and I feel fairly confident about that. It's just dealing with these sort of dead reaches where the boat just is overpowered, and you have to do something with your steering. You can't just let the main out, because then the boat won't sail. Okay, here's X coming up. Before we get to X though, I am curious if there's any other pointers that you think from these 3 videos that I could learn from. Do let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts, things I could have done differently. Okay, here we go. I've gone past the mark, get the kicker off. Now this is what I should have done, right? As soon as the boat heels over like that, then you just got to get the boom across, because otherwise it's going to just death roll probably, or capsize. So that was pretty nice. Get the kicker back on. So basically, I was able to do at least one jibe each lap, just not both of them in the same lap. And I didn't even do a jibe at the top of H. I did attack ground, and I still managed to fall in. So yeah, don't believe what everyone tells you that tacking round is better. Not always. It can still end in disaster. Yeah, some big waves to surf here. Just sort of playing it safe. It just didn't feel really fast on this bottom reach the second time round. Felt like maybe I was standing too far back, maybe I was too low on the trapeze. I started actually getting the kicker off and stuff, and start playing it a little bit more like, yeah, just in case. It's just sort of kind of a run, but kind of not. We're getting W wasn't very far from X either, so you didn't want to get too carried away because you're gonna have to pull everything back on. And my focus was really just getting around the committee boat. Maybe I could have taken a bit of Cunningham off. It's hard to tell, but yeah, a bit of speed there. Maybe I could have gone for a bit of height, got a bit of speed, accelerated, then boring away. I don't know. You let me know. Now we're getting pretty close to the W. Then we just got pointed through the finish line. Happy days. Now I think from memory that I only beat the laser by 10 seconds. It wasn't much. If I'd spent a little bit longer on those capsizes, or if I'd capsized again at another jibe, potentially could have been the win for the laser. So and potentially my reaching technique was slowing me down quite a lot there too, where I spent a lot of time sort of on my leaned over. So yeah, much better rounding out of that. Kicker's back on, boat's nice and powered up, and you can see the committee boat's just near my feet. So, but I've got a massive lift here. Look, it's just taken me the whole way to the committee boat. So I guess I must have just got a bit of a lift as well as a combination of the two, you could say. It wasn't a one or the other, just everything lined up perfectly. So final stretch to the finish. I can't see the laser. Maybe that little white dot on the left is the laser, but again, not a clue. I suspect they are doing the top reach or the second reach. But yeah, hard to tell. Nearly there. Right, I've just got to not swallow too much lake water and just get through the finish line, and then immediately send it back to the shore because I've had enough. I need a break. This was a great day of sailing, though. Really, really big thanks to the race officer for putting on 3 interesting races, even though only 2 people fancied it in the end. Hopefully next year we'll get a few more, and the next Grafham TT event will be in July. I'm hoping to try and make that one. Be cool if I can get 2 wins, and then that'll put me in a good spot overall for the series. I can't make the last one because it clashes with the 600 national, so we'll try and make my best effort to make the second one. But yeah, big thanks to the race team and the safety team. I know there was more of them than there were of us racing, but you saw the conditions. You can probably guess why people didn't. And it's a bank holiday weekend. Apparently people, have families and whatnot, so you can't blame them. But yeah, great day racing. I've got a few more videos in the pipeline. We've got the 600 inlands coming up, so hopefully, fingers crossed, I don't lose my camera like I did at Oxford. We'll have some pretty cool footage from that. And I've got some pretty cool footage from Wednesday evening recently too, so I should hopefully get that up soon. But yeah, let me know what you think of the videos. I'm trying to get them out as quickly as possible, and yeah, we'll keep getting out great videos of sailing at Grafham, but also 600 sailing. If you're interested in seeing some other boats like the 400, or I've done some sailing in the Hornet, then also let me know. But I get the sense that everyone wants to see 600 sailing, and I'm okay with that because it's the easiest boat to mount my camera to. Now, as I came in, I decided to drop the main because of the angle, right? I just didn't think I'd be able to come in without just accelerating too much. Now, as I dropped the main, because I wasn't really head to wind, I capsized. I managed to get the main down, I don't know, half a foot. Capsized, but I capsized so close to the shore that I think I couldn't quite stand up, but it wasn't long before my mate there who had the canoe was able to grab my mast, and there I'm actually standing. Yeah, not my finest work, to say the least, but yeah, just get that all sorted, get the sail down, no problems, no drama. Not my finest work, to say the least, but boat was recovered, nothing broke. Yeah, it's definitely helpful when you've got a mate to give you a hand, so thank you to my mate there. Yeah, stay tuned for the next video. Make sure to subscribe for more 600 videos.